Hi, I need to tell you something about your relationships that nobody else will. Not just your romantic ones, your friendships, your family connections, your work relationships, all of them. Because there's something happening in every single one of your relationships that you're not seeing. Something you're doing, something you're avoiding, something that's keeping you from the connections you actually want. And until you face it, you'll keep wondering why your relationships feel hollow. You're not actually connecting, you're performing. Every conversation you have, you're calculating. What do they want to hear? What version of myself should I be right now? How can I avoid conflict? How can I get them to like me? You think you're being social, but really you're putting on a show. You laugh at jokes that aren't funny. You agree with opinions you don't share. You pretend to be interested in things that bore you. You hide your real thoughts, your real feelings, your real opinions. And then you wonder why your relationships feel fake. They feel fake because they are fake. You're not letting anyone meet the real you. You're too busy being who you think they want you to be. The uncomfortable truth, you're attracted to people who can't actually see you. Think about it, the people you're drawn to, the ones you want approval from, the ones you work hardest to impress. They're usually the ones who are least interested in knowing who you really are. You chase the emotionally unavailable person. You try to win over the friend who never really asks how you're doing. You seek validation from the parent who's never been present. Why? Because deep down, you don't think the real you is worth loving. So you're drawn to people who confirm that belief, people who make you work for scraps of attention, people who make you prove your worth. Meanwhile, the people who actually see you and accept you, you take them for granted. You assume they'll always be there. You don't give them the same energy you waste on people who don't care. The uncomfortable truth, you're using relationships to avoid being alone with yourself. You text people when you're bored, you make plans when you're restless, you surround yourself with noise when the silence gets too heavy. But you're not seeking connection, you're seeking distraction. You use other people to fill the emptiness you feel inside, to validate the parts of yourself you're unsure about, to avoid the discomfort of your own company. That's not love, that's not friendship, that's using people as emotional medication. And the people in your life can feel it. They can sense that you need them more than you want them, that you're with them because you're running from something, not because you're running toward them. The uncomfortable truth? You're waiting for other people to fix you. In every relationship, you have this secret hope. Maybe this person will make me feel complete. Maybe they'll heal my insecurities. Maybe they'll give me the confidence I lack. Maybe they'll solve the problems I can't solve myself. But that's not how relationships work. Other people can't fix what's broken inside you. They can't fill the holes in your self-esteem. They can't make you feel worthy if you don't believe you are. They can't love you into loving yourself. When you enter relationships expecting to be saved, you turn the other person into your therapist, your parent, your personal validation machine. And that's exhausting for them. It's not their job to complete you. It's not their responsibility to manage your emotional state. You have to show up whole, not perfect, whole, as someone who wants to share their life, not someone who needs to be rescued. The uncomfortable truth? You're more afraid of intimacy than you are of loneliness. You say you want deeper connections, but every time someone tries to get close, you find ways to create distance. They ask how you're really doing, and you say fine. They try to have a serious conversation and you make a joke. They show vulnerability and you change the subject. They offer support and you say you don't need help. You keep everyone at arm's length, even the people you claim to love most. Because intimacy requires you to be seen, really seen, with all your flaws and fears and messiness. And that terrifies you more than being alone. So you choose surface-level connections. You choose relationships where you can hide, where you can maintain control, where you can keep your walls up and still feel like you're connecting. But you're not. You're just coexisting. The uncomfortable truth? You're recreating the same patterns in every relationship. Look at your relationships. Really look at them. The same arguments, the same disappointments, the same ways of hurting each other, the same reasons things fall apart. You think it's bad luck. You think you just keep meeting the wrong people. But the common denominator in all your relationships is you. You bring the same insecurities to every connection, the same defense mechanisms, the same ways of avoiding vulnerability, the same patterns you learned in childhood. Until you break those patterns, you'll keep attracting people who trigger them. You'll keep having the same conversations, the same fights, the same endings. The uncomfortable truth? Most of your relationships are built on mutual pretending. You pretend to be okay when you're not. They pretend to be okay when they're not. You both pretend the relationship is working when it's not. You don't talk about the real problems. You don't address the growing distance. You don't acknowledge that you're both just going through the motions. You maintain the appearance of connection while slowly drifting apart. You keep having surface-level conversations while the important things go unsaid. You smile and nod and play your roles, while your real selves remain strangers, and you both know what's happening, but nobody wants to be the first one to admit it. Because admitting it would require doing something about it, and doing something about it is scary, the uncomfortable truth. You'd rather be comfortable than connected. Real relationships require risk, they require honesty, they require showing up even when it's hard, they require having conversations that might change everything, but you choose comfort over connection. You choose predictable over authentic. You choose safe over real. You stay in relationships that don't challenge you, with people who don't really know you, having conversations that don't really matter. Because growth is uncomfortable, change is scary, and vulnerability feels dangerous, so you settle for relationships that feel like background music, pleasant enough, not too demanding, never quite satisfying. Here's what changes everything. Start telling the truth. Not to be cruel, not to create drama, but to create real connection. Tell people how you actually feel, what you actually think, what you actually need. Stop performing, stop people-pleasing. Stop trying to be who you think they want you to be. Show up as yourself, messy, imperfect, real, and let them decide if they want to know that person. Stop trying to fix or change other people. Focus on showing up differently yourself. Choose quality over quantity. A few real connections over many fake ones. And here's the hardest part. Be willing to lose relationships that aren't real. Be willing to let go of connections that require you to hide. Be willing to be alone rather than pretend. Because the right people, the people who are meant to be in your life, they want to know the real you. They're not looking for your performance. They're looking for your truth. And when you finally start offering that, everything changes.